You know, in the grand theater of history, there are very few figures who loom as large or as mysteriously as the man who, for all intents and purposes, tamed lightning itself. So, this is the story of Nikola Tesla, and he's a man of just these profound, startling contradictions. Today, we're going to explore both sides of this incredible person, the inventor who literally electrified our planet, and the solitary man who found his greatest connection in, well, the most unexpected of places. To really wrap your head around his legacy, you've got to step into the world he created for us. I mean, think about it. Nearly every flicker of light, every single device you plug into the wall, it traces its lineage right back to his visionary work. His mind was an absolute whirlwind of innovation. He produced the very architecture of our electrical age. That alternating current system, AC, that's what allows us to power our cities today. His induction motor, it's in countless appliances you use every single day. And his experiments with radio and remote control, I mean, he was basically prophesying the 21st century. And this, right here, just brilliantly shows you the sheer scale of his vision. He wasn't just inventing gadgets, he was engineering the future. Things like wireless power, which he was dreaming about over 100 years ago, are only just now starting to become a reality. He saw a world connected, not by wires, but by invisible energy. It's incredible. The brilliance of his public work, it so often overshadows the deep, deep complexities of his private life. So to find the real Tesla, we have to leave the laboratory and venture into the quiet, isolated corners of his world. And what we find there is a man living a life of intense, self-imposed solitude. It's fascinating, right? While his mind was reaching out to connect the entire globe, he himself remained remarkably disconnected from other people. He absolutely chose science over companionship. He dedicated his entire being to the pursuit of discovery. For him, his energy and his intellect were these finite resources, and they had to be focused singularly on his work, without what he saw as the distraction of human attachment. Okay, but this is where the story takes a really surprising turn. It reveals this deep emotional sensitivity that very few people ever got to see. For a man who really shunned human intimacy, he had this profound capacity for affection. That's right. Every day, he'd go out and find them. He'd tend to the sick and the injured ones, sometimes even bringing them back to his hotel room to nurse them back to health. And in that flock, there was one, in particular, that completely captured his heart. I mean, that quote, it reveals the core of the man, a capacity for immense love, but directed in this incredibly unconventional way. This wasn't just a casual fondness. He described this intense, almost spiritual bond with this one specific white pigeon. He actually told his friends that the pigeon visited him to tell him she was dying, saying a brilliant beam of light was shining from her eyes. The death of this single creature was, to him, as devastating as the failure of his grandest experiment. Just unbelievable. So the steep sensitivity, it was all part of a much more complex personality, one marked by extreme discipline and some very peculiar habits that governed his every single action. For Tesla, this showed up as this fascinating personal algorithm that sort of ran his daily life. And these weren't just random quirks, they were a rigid structure that he built all around himself. And the number at the center of his world was 3. He would walk around a block 3 times before going into a building. He needed 18 napkins, that's a multiple of 3, to polish his silverware. He was known to calculate pretty much everything in his environment in multiples of 3. And here's the kicker. His eccentricity and his genius were not separate traits. They were born from the exact same source. The same mental machinery that demanded his life be ordered by 3s could also envision and perfect these incredibly complex inventions entirely in his imagination before he ever built a single prototype. So all of this brings us to the final, lingering questions about this historic figure. How do you reconcile the futurist with the solitary pigeon feeder, the titan of invention with the man obsessed with the number 3? He gave us the power to light up the darkness, yet he himself lived a life that was shrouded in enigma. He walked among the crowds of New York City, but was truly known by no one, except perhaps for a single white bird. It's a question that just continues to echo, right? It's the final mystery from a mind that forever changed our world. Did he retreat from the world to protect his genius, or did his unique mind simply prevent him from ever truly being a part of it? That is the enduring puzzle of Nikola Tesla.